I'm
Yeah.
joined by Miss Legalots over here. Uh, and because our Pathfinder campaign has technically been going over the span of, I want to say like 2 years.
Oh, more than that.
Okay, there you go.
It's been
Even
like
more than that.
3.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Because technically, we shonen animated, and we have a time skip in there, and all of that jazz too. So we're going to quickly recap that first. I want to say that first arc, like
Yes.
the first 2 seasons, so to speak, of our campaign, just to give you guys a background of what has happened since. Well, basically, what's happened to set up the predicament that we're in right now. So we're going to touch on that a bit, and then we're going to go through that time skip, and then kind of hammer out all the things that we've done since then, which is actually quite a bit now that I think about it. So,
Yeah.
first, introducing probably characters of our first arc.
Do,
Want to do the
do you
honors?
want me to?
Yeah,
Do you want
do
me
the
to do that?
do the honors. You have the cast
Okay.
list.
Yes, I do. Did you? Are you pulling it up or?
I do have it. Yes, I do have
Okay,
it.
cool. So, our main characters consist of two half elves, a dwarf, a gnome, a wizard.
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Oh God,
Oh.
don't tell him
Ooh.
I said that. He's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Uh, so the names of these characters we have the gnome is Tylee Frockwood, as played by our beloved Tay. We have the two half elves, so we have Loravir Oaklord and Siler Amras slash Calcifer, whatever the hell his last name is.
Valinar?
Valinar.
Yeah.
Calcifer Valinar. Um, and then we have our sorcerer.
Yes,
um,
sorcerer.
his name is Mokat Daku, played by Marcus. And our dwarf is Dodo Clubchop.
And who was Philip actually played that character? He's not with us
Yeah.
anymore. He didn't die or anything.
No,
That-
he's
that- that-
alive.
he's not. No, he just other things. Yeah, and he wasn't with us for very long in the campaign, but still a vital part. He made it all the way up until the castle arc, right? For Sai, yeah, it's pretty good. So,
Yeah.
basically, the very start of our journey there was all 5 of us. Yeah, all 5 of us met in a small town and are, for one reason or another, looking for work. And we pick up a gig. We all happen to be hired by the same guy and meet in the tavern to be escorts for his caravan.
Yeah,
The
he's a traveling merchant.
name of this man.
Is Jerim.
There you go. Okay, I was
This is our
lost for
very first session
yeah.
ever.
So obviously it's very first session. We're still really new to the game. We make it to Brunziri, which is the capital city of the Redlands, which where we were heading to. And that's where basically the adventure begins. For some reason or another, totally, glossing over all roleplay, 5 random strangers decide to stay together. I don't know why, but it just happened. And that's where we start.
Yeah.
What happens after that, according to our notes?
One second. I brought up the notes for the first or for the second arc, not the first one. So okay.
We're having orc problems. They're having orc problems. That's all I know. That's all I
Yeah.
remember.
There's a horde, and it's being led. Oh, it's being led by a half orc, who is a huge asshole, and his name is Kurgal, the Wronged.
Yes.
Who Oh yeah, we all have a vision.
No, that's after. That's after.
Oh, spoiler
That's
alert!
the
Sorry.
spoiler alert. We all have a vision. It's just
We're getting
whatever.
there eventually.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he kills his mother in a church, and
Hmm.
we find her body and take the arrow that is in her head
Yep.
for further reference. Uh,
This was
so
by all means like on our way to Brenziri, by the way. So this we
yeah,
stopped by the town. There's all the children are gone.
yes,
So
that's right. That's right.
so it's up to Calcifer to take it upon himself to save these children, though he does it in a very moody kind of way. I remember, oh, so
Yeah, he's
moody.
such a brooding.
Yeah, he wanted to do it all by himself, but obviously
He's
some.
like the freaking Sasuke of the group. Oh,
I
I'm so
must avenge.
stupid.
I must avenge my family. No, but basically, yeah. So the party rescues the children from a goblin attack. They come back, find out there's a murder in the village, and spoiler alert, it is this half orc, the woman, which he kills his own mother, in a
Yeah,
sort of
and
revenge style.
he says, I have a quote. I have a quote.
Oh,
He says,
quote.
"Do you weep for the children, or do you weep for yourself? You certainly didn't weep for me."
Oh.
Dun dun
So for
dun.
one reason or another, his mother abandoned him, either willingly or begrudgingly because of his heritage.
Yeah.
Um, Having sex with an orc is probably not consensual.
No.
Yeah. So that was the thing. So that basically spurs on this entire orc-centric campaign. We reach Brenziri. We talk about the orc attack with some higher up people, and we get slung into. I don't know how it happened, but we get slung into a reconnaissance mission for the
Yeah.
Brenziri government for some odd reason, either as mercenaries or I'm honestly not sure.
So at this point, we have had, we've had a dream. All of us had the same dream at the same time. Staying at a tavern outside of Brenziri.
This is the reason why we decide to stay together.
Yes.
Yeah, this is okay.
Because we're bound by a brand. So, we have this dream. We awaken a town on fire. We run into a burning house, and there's a human man on a on a throne made out of tortured people. He points at you, and the guards approach you. The guards are orcs, and they toss you through the door. Then there's darkness, and there's a spotlighted figure in the darkness. The light disappears and then reappears, and the figure is in front of you. She's a young human woman with leather armor and dark hair, and she brands your palm, which really hurts. So, which makes us all wake up, and you open your palm, and it's an eye.
Yeah. So
It's an
the dream brand is actually a real brand, and we end up all waking up at the same time, and obviously, Loravir and Mokot are friends before this adventure. So
Tylee.
sorry, what did I say?
Yeah. Said Mokot.
Oh God,
Mokot,
right. Mokot and Cal
He showed up during the
during the
town
battle
raid
town. Yes,
for Orcs town.
and Mokot and Calcifer know each other. So that night when they stayed and had that vision, obviously the two pairs of friends talked it out. They reconverged as a whole party, spilled the beans, and decided that until they know more about this mark, they should stick together after their job as caravan guards are done.
Yeah.
Finally, we reach Brenziri. Finally, there you go. And do you know the reason that we got assigned this mission?
Hold
Or did
on.
you just have the hots for some certain somebody
Um, no, that's not the only reason.
Yeah, we'll
So
totally go into this life-threatening situation because, you know, you are
because,
so hot.
but man, it becomes part of a serious part of the story
This
later.
is true, but well, moving along,
What mission are you talking about?
the temple, Vault
What
of
time?
Ashes.
Oh, that's not till
Yes,
like way later.
is it?
Okay, I know what happens. So, so we're in this town. We're in Brenziri. We go to talk to the king. Um,
Because anyone can do that, apparently.
we had an inn because of the beautiful man who,
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So he's like,
He,
he wasn't just like a miscellaneous thing. Like he actually had a role. So, um, yeah. So this beautiful man, Lord Commander Sir Edmund Torstone. If you need a visual, it's Chris Hemsworth. Uh, he,
with no shirt, dripping wet,
no.
underneath a waterfall.
Okay, I think you're getting a little carried away, and
Oh wait,
yeah.
that's not till later in the grove. That's don't even worry
There
about
was
it.
no waterfall. What are you doing? Uh, so anyway, so this guy's in a full suit of armor, um, and actually saves us from a situation with some drunken guards who happen to be also very racist and
Crooked. They're very
yeah.
crooked. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not nice people, and so he comes and saves us and introduces himself, um, and gets us an in with the king because we wanted to talk to him about the orcs.
Right.
Um, and then Laura Veer gets longbow lessons from this Lord Commander
Yeah.
because
Your
she does
boon.
think he's
Y- Your
yes, we
boon.
all get a boon for saving the town. So
And the
that
reason why this was such a big deal was because we name dropped Kurgal. After finding that whole issue with a half orc and things like that, they already know of this half orc causing problems.
we also
With
had the arrow. We had
yes,
the arrow, so
yeah,
they recognized it right away.
yeah. So therefore, that kind of put a little bit backing on the words of just random mercenaries, so to speak.
Hmm.
Um, and that's exactly how we get the job. Since we want to do something to help with the orc problem, we get
Uh,
a mandate
we
from the king. We get a mandate from the king,
yeah.
right, to do this thing for us, and we get a boon. So I think you got proficiency in like longbow.
Yeah.
Uh, Ty Leaf got bow staff that was enchanted.
Yeah.
It was only enchanted on one end because that's all the gold allotted for. I remember that.
Oh god.
Yeah, because the boon was only like 5k, so he was just like, "Well, I want to enchant my bow staff." Well, you can only enchant one side of your bow
I'll
staff.
take half.
Okay, whatever. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, so we get to this encampment, which is just outside of the Orc Horde's like HQ, basically. So there's a command tent, and we kind of get the whole gist of what's going on. Um, we fight a bunch of orcs. One of them is a witch doctor. He kind of was a pain in the ass.
yeah.
Um,
That was a lot.
so
Yeah, that was a lot of HP. Yeah.
yeah, so we get inside and we find like a secret door. So we just keep going like down, down, down.
Yeah.
Um, we end up finding it's just like a friggin' labyrinth of stuff.
Yeah.
And we end up finding a statue of the god of death and like other awful shit.
Yeah, it's weird. How this brought about was Mr. Perfect, Sir Edmund over here, would lead a group of, I believe it was 200 Redland Cavaliers to
It was,
attack the
yeah.
main orc force. And our job was, during the chaos, to sneak inside their encampment, which just so happened to be on top of a ruin,
Right.
um, to figure out what they were doing there. Because they were an old set of runes, apparently. They were taking really keen interest to it. and obviously the Red Land King. Oh, not king. Lord. It's like a protectorate now.
Oh yeah, Lord
It's a
Protector.
it's a
It was the king, but then Jeff
yeah,
changed
yeah,
it.
yeah. Time skip. They rehash the parliament system, and
Yeah.
the government changed. No, anyway, yeah. So that's how we snuck into this labyrinth ruin. Sorry, not ruin.
Yeah.
Ruin. Ruin.
Yes, it was a ruin.
It's a
Right.
ruin. Yes. So yeah, labyrinth. Sorry, carry on.
Hmm?
Labyrinth, god of death.
Yeah. Yes, Labyrinth, God of Death. So we like solve this riddle, whatever is on the
Oh, yo,
statue.
no. Let me shout out to Cal on this one for one-shotting this damn riddle. So
Oh, yeah!
we enter this. We enter
I
this.
have the riddle. I have the riddle. You want me to read it?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess
So
if you-
on the pedestal there are two sets of handprints, and the riddle.
No. We enter
What?
this room, and there were two skeletons. We killed the two skeletons, and then their heads start talking. I'm
What the-
pretty sure that was.
Is that this time?
I'm pretty sure that was that time.
Okay. Well, continue.
Yes. Yeah. We killed two skeletons. We enter a room. There's two skeletons. Kill the two skeletons. End up that this room is a dead end. There's no doors, no nothing, and we're severely confused. Finally, the two dead skeletons, I guess they're double dead, skulls start talking, and they ask us this riddle. I don't know if you have that riddle.
No, I don't.
Okay. Anyway, Calcifer, our strapping, moody Sasuke of a half-elf. If you haven't noticed, I played Cal during this campaign.
That's what yeah.
Literally one shots this riddle, and which hilarious because our GM thought it was gonna take us a while, so he was about to get up and grab himself a drink. And I was just and I blurted out, and he's like, "Is that what you say?" And I'm like, "Yes, Cal says that." And he's like, and the door opens in front of you. That's pretty much it. Like, that was it. So.
Oh, I found it. I didn't write the riddle down, but the answer was nothing.
Oh.
Do you remember what it was?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, whatever. The answer was nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like a reverse riddle now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, then we run into the statue.
Yes.
It's got two sets of handprints on the pedestal, and there's a quote there that says, "Creation and destruction are two halves of the same coin." So, the answer to that was Mokot and Dodo working together. Mokot uses burning hands, and Dodo uses healing hands. And the statue turns to the side, and the stone wall moves into the floor. And there's a bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
Behind. Bunch of stuff, yeah.
A bunch of stuff. We come to a split, and there is, I believe, a door that is covered in runes. Runes
Yep.
this time, not ruins. It's covered in runes.
Yeah.
With magic that Mokot does not know. So he spends a bit of time to decipher it, but I'm pretty sure that the runes were weakening. Like, they were weak.
They were... Yeah.
So he was
Yes.
able to...
Yeah, Mokot figures out a counter incantation to the phrase that would open the door.
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So we end up opening this vault. And was the inscription on the side? Vault
No,
side?
but it was very, very magical. Like, Mokot had to stop detecting magic.
Right!
Because he got a headache.
Yeah, that's right. One inside joke over there, because it is going to come out in Pathfinder. Detect
Yeah.
magic, detect poisons are basically the two zero level spells that are just a must. When in doubt, detect poison, detect magic. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
it'll save your life.
Yeah, so we enter this thing, and it's Okay, I drew a picture of it. It's not very good. But it's
Oh,
like
there you
this
go.
room. Oh my God, my
It's
light.
yeah, it's room covered in water,
Yeah,
and there's a pathway that leads up to a
an
head
altar.
altar, and
Yeah,
everything else is surrounded by water.
yeah, and there are four statues, one on either corner of this platform.
Yeah, and in
There
the
are two women and two men.
mm-hmm.
So,
And in the
um,
middle,
in the middle, there is on the altar there is an orb, and it's kind of glowing this like white, ashy color. So obviously, we want to touch it.
yeah, touch the butt.
Yeah,
Just
gotta
touch
touch
it.
the butt. So, um, yeah, so we go in,
Mm.
and Sai touches the orb. Or
Yeah,
Cal
yeah,
slash
Cal.
Sai
Yeah.
touches the orb, and he receives a vision. So he's at the head of an army of elves and half elves. There are cities surrounded, just destroyed by him, and he likes it, and he can see how he can achieve this. Then he realizes it would be wrong, so he just stops touching the orb. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then so Mokat's like, "Well, I want to do it." So Mokat touches the orb. He's on top of a mountain with the corpse of the god of death at his feet. He's absorbing the energy from this god, and then he summons a huge lightning bolt and destroys the entire world.
Pretty
So
badass.
Sai, yeah, so Sai takes the orb and puts it in his bag because finders keepers.
Yes.
um,
Little do
and
we know that while all of this is happening, and these visions are very quick, so it was like
just like a blink of an eye. Like
yeah,
it's long for them, but for us, it's just
yes. So yeah, I touched it quickly, and I pulled back away from it, like recoiling. So Mokat was obviously interested, so he tries to pick it up, but Cal makes up some BS and says, "Oh, we should take it with us or whatnot, or don't touch it." Puts it in his bag. While all of this is happening, we notice that one of the statues in the corner is missing.
and green balls of flame appear on the wall, and
Never trust green balls.
this ugly, ugly motherfucker shows up behind us. His eyes are glowing a pale green. A couple of us fail our will saves.
I think all of us, except for Ty Leaf.
Tylee, yeah,
Literally
Tylee
all
and
of
Cyrus
us.
are fine. No, Mokat passed too. It was Sylar, Lorvir, and Dodo that
Yeah.
that failed. So we're all
Correct.
three of us are terrified. Like we're just scared shitless. And the thing says, "Welcome to the vault. We have been waiting so very long." So all of us,
He has a conversation with Ty Leaf.
yeah. Well, the three of us that failed are like, "Well, oh, he's not that bad." Um, so because we're like under this trance now,
not
and
bad.
so he says, "Oh, tell me, what of the Eternal Empire?"
Basically, he starts interrogating us. He
Yeah.
starts questioning us.
And yeah, we learn his name. It is Zataxes. He was a great wizard in the Eternal Empire. He found the Eye of Ashes, which is what this orb is called. And it was cursed, so he was bound by the eye, and said that the owner must remain trapped with it, so he trapped himself. He showed him the vision, so he turned into this kind of like he got obsessed with it, turned into Gollum, basically.
A little bit.
And
A more
he trapped
badass
himself-
Golem.
Yeah,
A more
and he
badass.
trapped himself in this vault. And then he says, "We may leave if his pet lets us leave." Commence giant winged skeleton.
Yeah, it's an undead wyvern. I want to say it's a wyvern, not a dragon. I'm pretty sure it's a wyvern.
I
Right?
didn't write down what it was, but it was
Yeah, it was an
winged and
undead.
gross.
Yeah, it was an undead wyvern. I'm pretty sure, like a baby dragon, but
Yep.
we're like level 3. Like, but yeah. So
It
it was.
wasn't
It was
that bad. Didn't
it-
we start at like level 9?
no.
Did he start us at 1?
No, I'm pretty sure we started at Did we start at 3 or 5? I'm not sure.
I don't know. We're hella low
But
level.
yeah, we're pretty hella low level. This thing's undead, and think about it. Just to put this in perspective, undead has damage reduction to slashing and bludgeoning damage, and guess what? All our weapons are slashing and bludgeoning damage. Lorvier's the only one with a piercing weapon because she has a bow.
Yeah.
Um, and this thing is going like in and out of the water, and it sucks. I'll just throw it out. It just sucked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we managed obviously to down it. It falls into the water, and we start exploring a little bit more because we have no idea what just happened.
Yeah, so we
Essentially,
find a bunch of loot in the corner, and actually, this is very important. Lorvir finds a short bow. Did she find it here, or did she already have it? I can't remember. At some point, she finds a short bow,
no.
and so she.
She finds the short bow in the goblin when you were rescuing the children,
Oh
right?
yeah, okay, so
And
she's
then
already got.
yeah,
Yeah,
but then
so
you
I
go.
touch the dragon,
You touch the
and
dragon.
it glows, and then I get +1 against undead damage and Hunter's Eye for the bow.
For
Which is
free,
great.
which is like wow, yeah.
Yeah, for free. Just for
Favoritism.
touching the dragon.
Favorite. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Come on, this came in handy later. You should.
This is true.
Yeah,
Cal got some. Cal got freebies too. Not gonna lie.
he did. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, then we return to the place where we tied up our horses, and there's a figure slumped up against the tree,
Yup.
and we find out that it is my dear sweet Edmund.
So all
He's-
200 of his men got absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
Hashtag wrecked. And he is poisoned.
He's got a black arrow through his breastplate, and he's in real rough shape. So the closest place right now is the High Elf Kingdom. And you can talk a little about that if
Yeah.
you would like.
So there we have two basically options. We can either try to ride for Brenziri, which we would not make it. It was a couple days ride to get there, and he's in bad shape. So Cal quietly, begrudgingly, I don't know a word, kind of advises that the High Elf Kingdom is, we're right on the border of it, of the forest there. And High Elves are pretty secluded, so everybody else is like, that's all you. Like, that's all you. So we end up riding inside the forest to make our way to, I guess what everyone thinks is Cal's birthplace. He's a High Elf. Lorvir is a Wood Elf. So
Yeah.
she's...
So they're from complete opposite sides of the map.
Yeah.
And we can show you guys the map on Sunday
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
They don't make
Yes, and we end up being, I want to say, followed. There is a strange. We have a set of eyes following us, and there's this strange
We're
bird.
definitely being watched.
Yeah, there's a strange bird or an animal or something that we catch glimpses of, and it's only weird because half of this animal, whatever it turns into, is made out of wood.
This animal was a raven.
Raven.
Yeah, and she.
And one wing was just made out of wood.
Yeah, so yeah, it's made out of wood. Tyleaf, our gnome, speaks. Or no, not yet. So
no.
she swoops down and becomes an elf, turns into an elf. And her arm is wooden, and then she grows a wooden blade from her arm, threateningly. Tyleaf, it happens to be a druid. And he obviously knew that she was a druid too, so they start speaking in Druidic together. And then she speaks to Lorvir in Elven. And then she casts a neutralize poison spell on Edmund, so he's fine for now. And then she gets us to follow her into this grove.
Yes. The Druid Grove that is on the outskirts of the High Elf Kingdom. Basically a secret place, and they were They were just they were worried. There again, everyone's having an orc problem, so they were just worried that that we were being followed by orcs, and that the orcs would uncover this druid sanctuary, which is something that they could not help or have happen. So, in a sense, we are being taken as prisoners, but by no means is it malicious in any way. They're just, again, trying to protect the druid order there.
Yeah, so they just wanted to keep us for now, just to make sure that we hadn't been followed by any orcs. And so once they figure that out, actually no, they take Edmund and can I say the thing? The thing that
Go for it.
the like pickup lines and shit.
Do the thing.
So,
Do the.
so Lorivir goes and Lorivir goes and visits Edmund to see how he's doing, and he wakes up and she's sitting next to him, and he looks at her and he goes, "This isn't how this isn't usually how my dreams with you start." And Lorivir's like, "Oh my god!" Yes. Meanwhile, Sai is flirting with a nymph in the water.
You just had to downplay your scenario and just throw me under.
Yeah, because part 2 of my scenario comes up pretty soon too.
Yes, no, fair enough. So we are hanging out in the grove, and Sai is pretty much keeping to himself because he feels he's been acting very dodgy and feels very uneasy. I guess being so near to his home, which people don't know about. But he ends up being lured to a pond where a water nymph resides.
Her name is Eleneth.
Yeah. And curious, he gets into the water and tries to find her, and they end up. I don't know what to explain because it's not sexual. It's not. Whatever.
No, they just have this like amazing connection.
It's just this thing. They have a thing, and
she also gives him stats.
Yes, which because they have a thing, and I think she finds.
Oh, I have the word. She is now his muse.
There
That's
you
what I
go.
wrote down.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has found favor with her. I want to say he found favor with her.
Yeah.
So she's like, I like this human, and she gives me a boon because I didn't ask. I said nothing. I didn't want anything from the king. So she gives me a boon, which is a necklace that gives me stats.
Charm stats.
Yeah, that's great. That's like increased like will saves and something, and she knows how I am at all times, and shit. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's really serious.
Yeah.
So
So I have So she becomes my muse, and basically all the meanwhile, Ty Leaf is really interested in the other druids because again he's basically half a world away. He's on the other continent right now. Well, he was born on the other side of the continent. So he's conversing with these druids and he's questioning about all the wooden arms, I want to say, or just wooden kind of.
Yeah, like some of them have like a little bit of wood on the, like they might have some on like their face, and like some of them have like full arms made out of like bark, and others there are like trees with faces.
So he basically asked the head druid there what's it all about, and it's Grover's blessing.
Did I write this?
I'm not sure. It's until she finds it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing that is bestowed by one of their druid gods, in a way that it gives them power, and also they can find life in death, because in this way you do not die. You simply become a tree. The roots and the bark and all of that basically slowly encompasses your body. It starts small and it grows until it covers your entire body and you become a tree. So you're not dead in a way, but you are able to continue helping, the nature and the forest by being a tree. All of that hippie stuff that druids do.
Oh, it's Gozers. Bless you.
Gozers, go Grover.
Yeah,
Gozers.
you're very close.
So
Yeah.
close. It's 3 years. Come on, give me a break.
So yeah, so we get called to the druid leader guy.
He accepts, by the way. He goes through the operation or the magical ceremony
Right,
to get
sorry.
that done. Just so he has a badass wooden arm now, and he can make things from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
So-
uses it mostly to make little souvenirs for people.
that he
Like
likes.
little
Yeah.
trinkets, yeah. Uh, so so they find out that we weren't followed by orcs, but we were followed. So they're like, "We'll get rid of what followed you. Off you go." So they send us off to the mountains, and we hear a strange sound, and it's a combination of a bird's call and a bear's roar.
Rip.
Two very large owlbears, and we defeat them, and then we find
We steal
some
their children.
we find some owlbear babies, and we bring them along with us, and then we find some ogres.
Yes, the ogres.
Loravir one-shots one of the ogres.
Can we just take a moment that both Cal and Loravir are really badass in this fight?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
we-
that's totally
we
right.
straight up sneak on this ogre, climb up like this like stalagmite stalagmite, this tall like wood
Yeah.
rock structure,
Yeah.
and Loravir like backflips and like one shots one of them, and then
Totally did backflip,
yeah, and then Cal like does a 360 spin and like takes his sword down one of their backs and does like a shit ton of damage. Like they're styling on these ogres. It's pretty. We were pretty brutal about it too.
Oh yeah, we
because
did not hold back.
because we end up leaving one of them alive, questioning them, and then brutally beheading him. I'm pretty sure, and
think
then
so, yeah.
burning all of them because they regenerate.
Mhm.
So we end up burning all of their corpses. Like
It was
it's
pretty brutal.
we are yeah. I have no idea, but that session we were pretty.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
after this, we've gotten rid of the ogres, everything's fine. Now we set up camp because it's going to be dark by the time we get to the grove, and we won't be able to find our way. So while we are sleeping, or I guess during people's watches too, during the night we hear whispers, and they seem to be coming from a distance, and then it turns out they're actually coming from Sai's bag. So first it's Tyleaf and his wolf on the watch, and the whispers are becoming louder to them and getting really annoying, and Tyleaf is hearing them whisper his name. And it's very enticing to go into Sai's bag, but he shakes it off, and it doesn't feel obligated to do so. Next, Dodo and Mokat, it's their watch, so Dodo has to know what it is. But Mokat manages to snap him out of it, but they're both still pretty curious. And then Sai and Loravir are not so restrained during their watch. And they both want to see it, and they both agree to grab it at the same time. So Sai's vision continues from before. So now he's leading an armada of ships, and they're sailing for the north, deep into the wastelands. He's dressed in furs. He's got this icy boat equipped with very rare weaponry like cannons and stuff. There aren't any guns in this universe. So
They're very rare.
They're super
They're very
rare.
rare.
So this guy's got cannons.
I got
there's
cannons, baby.
Yeah, there's a huge crystalline form hanging over the world. Like it's enormous. And so they begin bombarding this form with the cannons, and it falls apart. There's one giant gun, and it shoots the heart of the form, and there's a blinding white light, and that's the end of the vision.
Does it when you hear that now, does that not remind you of the very first episode of Avatar?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. The
I'm just,
hearts of the
I'm just saying.
maybe it's the Avatar. We don't know. So then Loravir has her vision. This is the first time she's ever touched the orb. So this is the first vision she's ever had. She's on top of a mountain of gold, sitting on a throne of molten gold. She's got servants and slaves at her feet. There are a bunch of people with gold collars groveling at her feet. She's got guards that are fat. Everyone who has betrayed her is being tortured. The kingdom seems to be rotting from the inside, and she's bought the world. It's a very corrupt wood elf kingdom, and the life tree from where Tyleaf and Loravir are from is her playground, and it seems to be rotting. Everything around her is rotting, and she's just got all of this wealth, and that's the end of her vision. And she starts crying because she's like, I don't like that. And so then Sai interrogates her, asking what she's told Edmund. She says she hasn't told him that much, and Sai thinks she's lying. And he has like trust issues and stuff, and so yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get back to
the grove, and do you just wanna skip this castle and then move on, because nothing really pertains until the taxis, right?
Oh, skip like the high elf
Yeah.
castle. Yeah. Well, there's like a bunch of stuff with Sai's.
Yeah, which is basically just flushing his background. Sai's dad, his origin. He gets it really mixed up. He thinks his dad's the bad guy and has been holding a grudge against him for a really long time. And it turns out that it's not. His grandfather ends up being super, super evil.
Yeah, and they like kidnap some of us. They kidnap Dodo and his cousin Rolo.
Yeah.
And they're very drunk because they just like drank for a whole day. Rolo like showed up and he's like, "Let's get drunk," and Dodo's like, "Okay," and then just like peaced.
Yeah. So basically, for the hundreds of years, the High Elf Kingdom has been very secluded and very cut off from the entire world, because Calcifer's grandfather has that whole very like, I want it. What's that word where you don't like other races? It's just like
Racist.
no, not racist. It's like not homophobe, but with like gay people, but the other genophobe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
He just really, really wants to keep the high elves to themselves. He thinks everyone else is dirty, so he's made this magical veil that engulfs the city, making it invisible.
Yeah, long
So
story
nobody can
short.
find
Yeah,
it.
long story short, it's because he's evil and he's actually been ruling the High Elves for longer than is possible. He is almost near immortal because of some dark magic, and we end up killing him. Sai is still really angry at his father, about to kill him, but gets stopped by his friends. They ruin his jam. Sai and his father come to an understanding. His father basically confesses everything to the High Elves and comes clean. He didn't know anything about it. They forgive him. He takes over leadership and opens the borders of the High Elves to the entire world. That's basically how it ends.
Yeah. Oh, Kolda! So, in this prison that she's not, this isn't very important, but she's also super awesome. So we freed all of these prisoners and let them into the throne room and let them just like go at all of the people in there. Kolda, who tags along with us, is this massive, wonderful half-orc.
Who is unlike Kurgal in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah,
she's
super nice and like really badass, but just like the nicest person, and she loves humans, and really doesn't like orcs. And yeah, she's super, super sweet and saved us from dying
Yeah.
many times.
Yeah, so that arc ends. We start going back, they do a bunch of things with the orb. They keep it in Brenziri for the High Magistrate. What's his title? The Sylph. Um,
Oh,
basically the head magician, the
Yanis.
right Yanis,
Yanis
the
Swift.
right hand of the king.
Yeah.
He's a magus, very very high level magus. Um, to get this
Oh, right.
sorted out, to try to basically experiment on the orb to find out what exactly it is.
Um, yes.
Yeah.
And then we sail for the port town of Ulian.
No, we go from
Uh,
Ulyan to Dorstown.
yes.
Yes.
We leave for Ulian. Oh, yeah. We show up in Ulian. We have to go through a swamp. And then we take the Wave Raker
Yes.
from Ulian to Torstown. You're totally.
Notable things: we fight a Hydra. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, we fight a Hydra in the swamp, and
Little
we
hide.
meet the captain of the Wavebreaker, who ends up being somebody who being a friend of ours. Basically, we call on him many times in after the time skip.
And he teaches Lorvir how to drive a ship.
Drive a ship. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Larver gets the ride skill. We arrive in Torsdown. The orcs are amassing. And the most notable things in Torsdown, there's a half giant there that helps protect Torsdown.
He's a storm giant.
Half,
He's
not
not a
half
half
giant.
He's a storm
He's a
giant.
storm giant.
Mm.
And Astria, who is a bronze dragon. But
Yes.
she usually hangs out. She is the dock master. She's the dock
Yeah,
master.
the like port mistress or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
called.
Which, she Torsdown is a port like trading city, and she handles
Yeah.
all of that. She's usually in her human form because all dragons have human forms.
Mhm.
And there's that. We meet Edmund's parents
And his siblings,
and his siblings.
which will come into play
Yeah,
later.
there
So
it is.
his parents, Lord Aldous and Lady Katerina of Torsdown, and his brother and sister, or his younger sister, who's about 20 at this time. Her name is Kira, and his youngest brother, Bren. He's about 16.
Yes.
Bren, as played by Liam Hemsworth, because brothers.
As brothers. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
basically, there ends up being a big battle in Torsdown. The Horkord as a mass, they are attacking Torsdown. We basically have to defend. We fight the three generals of this orc horde.
And they are Margoth the Destroyer, um,
The goblin, the hobgoblin.
that's Margoth.
Oh, is it?
Is it? Wait.
I thought
Wait.
Margoth was the northern orc.
It's. Oh my god, it's on my list. Wait. Wait. I have it. I can get it in like 1 second. It's. Okay, yes. So Kurgal the Wronged.
Yes.
Who's a half.
Yeah, fuck that no one likes.
Margoth the Destroyer is the big northern orc, and Warmonger Takrin is the hobgoblin.
The hobgoblin, yes.
Yes.
So there's an epic fight there. Jeff rolled really badly for them, and the fight was surprisingly way easier than it was supposed to be. We did work.
Also there were like harpies too. Did that happen?
That's like a side
Oh, it
plot.
happened after.
Yeah.
It happened after.
Yeah.
There were harpies, and Edmund's really bad with the crossbow.
That's basically it. You just put him on a horse. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, the fight basically ended up being very one-sided. Our rolls were good. Jeff's wasn't. We end up killing the commanders. The horde disperses. The Battle of Torsdown is won. And out of all of that, we could not find Kurgal's body.
Yes. So they were just assumed dead.
Yes.
Now we these are school notes, okay, from like 2 years ago. So what happens after the war is
Yes, there is a time
there.
skip. There's a
Well,
time
no,
skip.
there's a banquet.
Oh, what? Wow.
There's
Ooh.
a you forgot the
Ooh.
banquet. So there's
Yeah.
a celebratory dinner
I'll let you
for winning
handle
the
this.
war. Very, very exciting. Everyone's having a good old time, but something is amiss. So some of us go and look for whatever's going on. We find some spies and interrogate them. And while we are interrogating one of the spies, the rest of them reveal themselves and try to assassinate the king who has come from Brenziri for this banquet. They also try to get us and Edmund's father, Lord Aldous. Now, before he hits the ground, he's dead. Aldous is dead. The king survives. He's fine. He manages to get out of the way, and I think he defends himself. Actually, he's kind of a kind of a badass. But yes, Aldous is dead, and there is no way to revive his soul, so we can't reincarnate him or anything. So
The clerics try to find it, try to do that, but it's somehow blocked.
yeah,
So
yeah, something.
yeah. So then there's a time skip. This it happens.
Yep.
Basically,
You want me to
oh, okay,
I
okay,
wanna read
okay,
it. I wanna
okay.
read
There,
it.
there's a 6-year time gap. Um, after the time gap, within the time gap, this is what happened. Previously on Pathfinder.
Previously on Pathfinder. So there is a prophecy that pertains to us for the second arc, and this is what we lead off with. When 3 false kings are fallen, and 3 crowns have changed heads, then is the dead man truly risen after the 4th king is wed. His power waxes even as the world reawakens. None shall stop him but the ones forsaken.
So
What could it be?
I have no idea. But this is basically the cornerstone of our second arc. Everything kind of revolves around this and us trying to figure it out. Meanwhile, our old main characters in this time gap, I'll leave Laura here. Mokot
Dude,
and
hold
Cal-
on.
Wait,
You
whoa.
know what? We totally forgot about Ragnar and
That doesn't
and,
happen until.
Lorvir's dad.
All right.
So after the banquet, we go north because there's still some whisperings of orc shenanigans.
Do we?
And
Is
we
that
come
after
across,
the Battle of Torsa?
or is it? Oh no. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's the last.
I'm pretty sure it's before the Battle of Down because we're trying to find allies in the north. Pretty sure because we're trying to investigate the northern orc.
I think we might be confused.
I think so.
No. Okay. It's totally after the banquet.
Okay.
It's totally after the banquet. So,
Right.
So what happens? We go up north to the Vikings, or the Eastguardians, and because something worse is going to happen. Right? Is that like we know that there's the orcs, the half orcs or whatever, they tried to do the assassination
Right.
banquet, so we're like, well, something else is coming.
Yes.
Also, the taxis, like, what the hell? So we go up north, try to get help from the Vikings. Also, we hear about a pirate ship that is up north.
This is true.
Yes. So there is a famed pirate named Blackheart. And
Which ties into Tay as well because his town
Yes.
was attacked by pirates.
Yeah. So
and
Laura, for
massacred.
her entire life, basically, has been searching for her father. Like, he's been her human father. He's been missing. She knows that he was part of the Kaldari Empire. He was a soldier there, and he traveled west um, to for like a mission or something, and he went missing, and they couldn't find his body, but they pronounced him dead. So obviously, she thought her father was dead, but something was wrong. She knew that he wasn't gone. So they hear about this pirate ship. She's like, well, what the hell? Like, I want to find my dad, so sure. So they go, they agree. I'm all over the place.
You are.
I'm all over the
But
place.
it's okay.
Okay, so they go. Okay, I'm gonna go with the pirates and then come back to the Vikings.
Yes.
So pirates. We go a little bit north from Eastgard to where the pirate camp is. Tyleaf wants revenge, so he just wants to sink this friggin' ship.
Yes, he does, and we're like,
Yes.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, we're like, please,
Yeah.
please. So, they go and they find the captain of the ship. They manage to just like screw the whole crew over,
Yeah.
basically, and they kidnap the captain.
We do.
Yes.
It was
and-
pretty ingenious. It was pretty ingenious. Good use of invisibility on this one.
Yeah. Oh,
Good
yeah.
use of
We picked up
invisibility.
like a ninja.
No, no, you are the ninja.
No, it wasn't me.
No, 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 no. This was it. You rolled like 20. No, you rolled 20 on your stealth check. Everyone else had to use invisibility. I was like off
That's right.
kiting. I was off kiting shit because I was like, "Don't worry, guys, I got this. I'll
You were
lure
like,
all of
"Don't
the." Yeah, and there's like 20 guys follow me, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch."
Yeah.
But we end up jacking we end up kidnapping the pirate. He ends up spilling the beans.
He is Lorvier's father, and turns out that he was like kidnapped by the pirates,
Just a little
and
bit.
instead of being killed, they saw great potential in him, and he became the successor for Blackheart. So Blackheart was really just a name, and he was the next one. So he, after the previous one died, he became Blackheart,
Pretty much it.
like part of the crew, part of the ship, type thing. So Lorvir reunited with her father. Yay, wonderful. So they go back to the Vikings. The leader of the Vikings, Ragnar, I forget his last name. I want to say Lothbrok, but it's not
It's
right.
totally not. No, it's totally
It's-
not right.
It's Ragnar. I have it. I have it on the list. I have it. It's
Oh, wait, I can pull this up. Where is
it's
it? No, this is
it's Ragnar Logarson. Logarson?
Logarson?
Yeah,
Logarson. Yeah,
son
you're
of-
absolutely right.
Ragnarson of Logar. Yeah. That's it. That's totally it. Yes.
Yeah.
And his chair has
Uh,
been stolen by Gorm Ignason, his arch nemesis.
Yeah. So basically, Ragnar is willing to help us. It was before the whole pirates. I'm pretty sure we did this whole thing first. Ragnar decides to help us, but he wants his chair back, which, AKA, he wants the throne back. So we end up attacking just head first, because at this point, all subtlety is just out the window. We're just like, you want to challenge him in one. Well, Vikings aren't really subtle. Let's put it this way. Vikings aren't really subtle. He just wants to 1v1. He wants to 1v1 me, bro. That's he wants to go up to the guy and says 1v1 me, bro. So he
There's
gets
too many people in the way. So
Exactly.
We need that help.
so Ty Leaf has a ring of the ram, which is basically just like a fucking ram, and he punches down this fucking it's basically a fortress door, like you know those wooden fortresses back in the olden days that has those thick wooden doors. He punches
Yeah.
that down. Think of the scene from Lord of the Rings when Gandalf visits Rohan. That's what it happens. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't
the-
know what scene you're talking about. You know what scene I'm
It's
talking
the doors in Rohan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, if you think
Yeah.
about it, though. But I
It's
meant like the what plays out is like the throne room scene
Oh,
when
totally.
Gandalf
Yeah,
is.
Gandalf's just like
Yeah,
beelining and
yeah.
everything's just like
So yeah,
crowded.
Ragnar
Yeah, I know
beelines
what you're
for
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Perfect.
okay, yeah. So Ragnar beelines it for the guy who usurped him, basically. They have that epic duel while we're taking care of his guards and
Yeah.
whatnot, which is fantastic. It ends up, whatever. He straight up kills the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he straight up kills
Uh,
the guy. Yeah, and we're just like,
no
whoa,
mercy.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
dude.
so he straight up kills the guy, claims the throne, and he's our friend. Like, that's just it. So,
Yeah.
throughout the entire first arc, we pick up basically a couple of contacts. We have contacts in Brensiri. Edmund is one who's very influential. Him and his family are very influential in the Redland government. Ragnar of the North, who is now King of the North. Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, King of the North. We have Astria, which is a bronze dragon that we are in good favor with. Well, Tylee's in good favor with. A storm giant, the high elves, and the druids of that druid grove. It had a
Yeah.
name, but whatever.
The Elder Grove.
Elder Grove, that's it. So after that, we come back, and that is it for the first arc.
So now,
Now time skip.
insert poem. It's been 6 years since